All right, all right. What's going on? How you doing?
Good. How are you? Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Second baby, very exciting.
Everything went well?
Yeah, man, all smooth. Everything's great. Kathy's good. That's what matters. Baby's healthy. So yeah, we're good. Life is normal. It's crazy.
What?
The second time around, I'm like, yeah, it's a newborn. It's fine. Just eat and sleep. It's chill. The first time, it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Sorry, one
Yeah.
sec. All my shit's in the way here.
What has been like Noah's reaction to it all?
Noah absolutely loved him at first because he likes babies. He likes kids. So he loved him. He's like going up, petting his head. He's giving him kisses. But now that it's been a couple days, I think he realized, oh, this isn't a guest. Like this person lives here. So now he's like, hey, what the hell is this baby doing with my mom and dad?
That's
So
funny.
he's a little more nervous now, or a little more like, nah, he's just getting used to it. But it's all right. It's all good. No
Yeah.
complaints.
Yeah. That's funny.
How about you? What's going on? How's the sight rights or stammer? Sorry, I'm a little
Good.
sleep deprived.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Yeah, it's been mentally very exhausting last couple days. I feel like
Yeah,
I've been in, like SAT tests for the last few days, going through some of the most complex problem solving that I've done in years, probably. Um, Trying to like figure out I'm thinking in 10, 12 steps ahead, if I make a change here, how it affects things down here, which then revert and changes other things up here and yada yada. Like we found this one issue which then made us aware of another issue, and it's like that then cascades down all the different pieces of the platform. And so it's like yesterday I was so exhausted by like 2 p.m. I sat down on the couch and I was like like oh man.
it's tough when you're trying to solve complex problems, especially if there's math involved. Like this variable affects that variable, which affects this user base. It's like, yeah, just a never-ending chain of figuring out how everything's connected.
Yeah, yeah, and trying to keep it all like in check, because I feel like I'm juggling 12, 12 different features or 12 different things at the same time, and if one ball falls, then that affects everything else. And yeah, so the good thing is though, it took us a few days, but we have a plan in place to solve. Like we figured out what the issue was. We've now created a plan to solve the issue, and now we're in the process of building out that fix and figuring out how to like tell customers about it. And the good thing is like it's all going to affect customers in a more positive way, in the sense that more users and more accounts are getting more features that they're not having to pay extra for. And when they do that, it will be cheaper for them to use the platform. So it's
Yeah, got it.
better functionality and it's cheaper. You should be happy with that, right? Without paying more money.
For sure.
There are just a couple different things that you have. Like there's just a couple. So for example, it's basically encouraging more people to use their own API key. So when OpenAI released the image gen model, they also released this thing called organization verification, which is very similar to a lot of other verification things that you have to do for like online banking or Stripe, where you have to, take a picture of your ID and then do like a face scan. And their reasoning behind all this was that some developers are going against their terms of service or their policies, and they need a way to have some sort of security and liability like wall put up, so that way they're not on the hook if someone generates an image of somebody naked or something bad.
Yeah, sure.
But what's also interesting is that they've now gated behind. So like if you're a developer and you want to use the API for image gen O3, O3 mini, O4 mini, those are all now behind that wall. Like you just sign up and use the API for those models. And I don't see them going backwards in that sense. So like I think the next model that they release will be behind this wall. They're going to have so much liability for what people generate using their models. They have to push that to the developer themselves.
Right, right. So you won't like users basically won't be able to rely on a third-party API, aka yours, to give accurate information about their business. They have to have their own API and verify their own business to continue to use it.
Essentially, yes, because the
Okay.
same thing kind of applies to us. Like it's not our business that is using the API. It's like we're allowing others to use it through us. But if that person or their end client, now we're 3 levels deep.
Right,
If
right.
anybody in that stack does something wrong, then we're on the hook, which means that affects everybody using the API.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So
So it's not an issue now, but you're foreseeing that it could be. So it's just a way to mitigate your own liability.
correct. Well, that's part of it. And then the second part is by using your own API key, OpenAI is charging you direct for usage, which is for 99.8% of our users and chatbots, it's going to be cheaper than paying us 1 cent per message.
Well, that's my next question, though. Like, how much does that eat into your margin? Because you were making some good money on that, weren't you?
Not as much as we had originally forecasted.
Okay.
So like with other platforms, they charge per user seat, which we don't charge for. So on the flip side of that, we charge for extra AI agents and storage within those AI agents.
Which makes more sense.
And that's how we chose to like run our model basically is like if you are selling to more people, you need to purchase more agents. So it's similar to a user seat thing, but it's the actual use. It's the actual thing. It's not just somebody who needs a license or a user seat,
Right. Yeah.
which I still think is better and cheaper because if you have a team of 20 people, you can just have all 20 people and you're not paying any more money.
Yeah, you should be paying based on revenue, based on clients you get, not based on how many people are in the account.
Exactly. And that was my kind of thought. So we're
Yeah.
keeping that model and that still allows us to monetize up the chain as people use it more. But we weren't actually we actually were losing money. We actually lost money last month because of some other issues that were in the background where people were loading way too much data inside of their bots basically that then caused the averages to be thrown off that we use to calculate our static cost per message, which then means that like all of our margins were off basically.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah.
So instead of doing that whole process and trying to like recalculate our margins and then change price for people, the goal is to just encourage everybody to use their own API key, and then we don't have to build out all that other complexity. And then if you're not using your own API key, we're simply just going to charge at cost plus like 10 or 15%.
Yeah.
So not too much, and for 99.8% of users, it's going to be cheaper than paying 1 cent. Like the couple people that are doing this, like just pushing a ton of data, just use your own API key, and then you can do whatever the hell you want.
For sure, for sure. And for those people, they could save money if they choose like a different language model. Like there's a bunch of other ways that you can change your API costs.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it will also allow us to offer O3, O4 mini. It'll allow us to offer these other models because now it's on their API key, which means they have to go through the organization verification step. So it is like more steps for that user because then, and like from our onboarding point of view, we have to now help people sign up for OpenAI, create an account, add your credit card to OpenAI, do organization verification. So it is kind of annoying, but we kind of we don't really have a choice in the long term.
Yeah, yeah, you're foreseeing a problem that could come up. Better to solve it now and be ahead of it. And it's annoying now, but you might be the number one provider that solved this problem ahead of time when everybody else is like, oh fuck, this is going to cause XYZ issues down the chain. And then those customers are pissed, they get mad, they look for an option, and then you're going to be the one that already has the problem solved. Hopefully.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all, and so like, there's other things too that I see coming down the line where every other platform that we, like every other competitor that we look at, everybody is limited to what you can put into the knowledge base or the prompt or whatever it may be. Whereas we kind of allow unlimited to the extent of the core model itself. As this technology grows and as more people use it, in the feedback that we just get, people want to just be able to load more and more and more data into their bots. And if you are physically unable to do that, then you're not going to want to use that XYZ or XYZ platform.
Yeah, so you're mitigating future churn that could potentially happen.
I think so.
Happen.
Yeah, because if you had your own API key, then you have as much context as possible, which for most of these models is like 128,000 tokens, which is like 500,000 characters of text. It's so much data to put in. And yeah, you wouldn't want to put all that data in because then your cost per message would be extremely high. But a lot of these agencies we've found are not necessarily caring or charging per message. They're just charging like a flat rate and then eating the message cost.
Yeah.
But now if that message cost is cheaper, now they have a higher margin.
Yeah. Or if the message costs increase, they switch to a different model, then it can.
Or a different model, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just load less data into your prompt.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of solutions here, and then we're also now giving out master chat to all the plans as well, which is more of like the internal AI agents. So all of that work and that processing then revealed a whole nother suite of problems with our like subscriptions and how people were getting billed because we were going deep in how this billing process was.
Got it. Yeah.
So it's like this whole other silo of billing where we found that our system was like looking at things in a different way than Stripe was. So we have like almost 30, 40 customers that are using the platform that Stripe was considered them canceled.
So they're not even being billed?
No.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like a very significant amount of revenue.
Oh no.
Yeah. Like we would have hit our other targets already if this was not an issue.
Fuck.
So, yeah.
And that's tech for you. That's so tough.
We would not have ever even found it other than going down this route. And so like we were on call. I was on calls for probably like 4 to 6 hours yesterday with the entire team, different devs, different like, if we do this, how do we do this? And it's just like I was saying, I feel like I've been doing these like SAT tests where I'm like, I feel just so mentally drained after these meetings that I just sit down. I'm just like I need to just go for a walk or sit out in the sun and just like let my brain decompress a little bit.
I literally just got off one of those calls before we were talking, and it's not the same situation, but similar. It was basically a full math call and how we're going to build our equation for calculating nap time. Oh my God, man, there are so many variables. It's so complex. So I'm the same thing. I'm looking at this. I'm like, holy shit. Okay, I need to walk away for a second or just figure out how to do this.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm decent at math. That is like real math, not just like, because it's all within the context of something. Like I had to retake calculus in college because I failed it the first time, but
we're not doing calc.
But we're not doing calculus. We're doing like real math, like real world math.
That's such a life skill. I was thinking about that the other day. The ability to understand math and things as percentages is so important in business.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But anyway, All right. Why don't I jump into the rabbit hole of Bambi and show you a couple things that we've been
Dude,
working on.
the carousels have been ripping.
Holy shit,
It's
man.
so I clipped out that video or that section of last week's episode where we were talking about it, and I'm now seeing it's probably not due to my video. It might be, but I doubt it. But I now see other people doing it more so.
Interesting.
And Instagram. So this actually, I'm curious. If you go on your Instagram page, I looked at your page and I can't see it, but maybe it's just an internal thing. On the main page, do your carousels show view counts?
Okay, so weird. Yes and no. It depends.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what this is. So I posted different carousels, right? Okay. You can't see it on desktop, so never mind. It doesn't matter. But actually, wait. I could pull up my. I can't pull up my phone because it's my camera. But yeah, so on most reels, yeah, I can see view count. But on the one reel that's going super viral, it doesn't show view count on the front of it, and I have no idea why. I did everything the exact same as the others.
I think they're making active updates.
Maybe, yeah. I like the views though. I do find it useful
Yeah,
because it gives me a comparison point to the reels. Where previously you're comparing apples and oranges, but now we can compare apples to apples. You can look at the views and engagement on both posts.
exactly. Yeah, it's very interesting. Anyway, so carousels ripping, comment DM strategy ripping,
It's on fire. We have 1,700 comments.
dude.
It went absolutely nuts.
Are you doing respond? Are you responding to comments too?
Of course.
Okay, yeah. So, like 850 comments true.
I see what you mean. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I could pull it up in ManyChat. I had to switch automation. So
Your ManyChat bill is going to be really fucking high soon.
lucky me. We have, oh my God, I just said how good I am at simple math, but I haven't slept in 3 days. Like 930 comments.
There you
Real
go.
comments. Yeah.
Dude, for your account size, that's insane.
So what's so funny is I pay for all these little softwares, right? And I can obviously afford to pay for these little softwares, but I'm trying not to just go crazy and spend my money on everything. So I'm like, I'll just use the free version of ManyChat and just post this carousel, and I'll just respond with people that get the ebook. And like, whatever, if we get 100 comments, I'll just manually send people the link to Bambi after. And then I checked it, and we were at 700 comments. I'm like, fuck. So I had the one autoresponder giving people the ebook, but not the follow-up message being like, hey, by the way, we built all these in Bambi. There's a link to a free trial. Totally missed it. So anyway, I had my VA go in and manually DM every single person to give them a link to download a free trial. But that one has been so amazing. And then the other one that we did was a sleep-related post. It has, I think it's at like 300 comments or something. Oh, literally on the dot, 300 comments. So I guess 150 real. Same thing. So just two different lead magnets. So I'm giving the lead magnet ungated. Just here's a link to a Google Drive PDF. And then following up after that says, by the way, all the things in the PDF you can do in Bambi, but it's customized to your baby. Here's the link to start a free trial. Or you can try it for free here. Something like that. So yeah, ungated for now. I think the next round we're going to do gated because it's great. You said this last time, I should have listened to you. It's great to get the one-time like injection of trials, but now I have no way of following up with those people unless I manually DM them, which is not possible.
Are you able to track people that have been sent that DM to signups to the app?
No, I can't, but I am tracking.
Can you do like a ref link?
So maybe this is something you can help me with then, because it is notoriously difficult to track sign up source where trials are coming from.
Yeah.
Because everybody is just going to the App Store and there's no UTM code tracking it in the Apple App Store. So it's actually, honestly, I'm ChatGPTing this right now.
Yeah. Because that's what we started to do was just add a direct link ref code back to the website, which we are able to do UTM tracking for.
Yeah, so fuck. Okay, there is one workaround. It's Apple's version of making different landing pages and then sending each creator a link to that landing page alone. And that's it. But you can only create 100 different landing pages, so, which is fine for now, but you will cap out eventually before you just have to delete some.
Yeah. So what'll be interesting to do is test, because so my conversion rate on DM to free value opt-in on Gumroad is 28%.
Interesting. We are tracking link clicks in ManyChat, and then we're tagging people that click on the link to start a trial. So I know how many people clicked from the DM.
Useful, but doesn't really give you much.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I think like that, considering how so many other metrics have been similar for us, I think using that as a benchmark, like 28% could be a good benchmark to start off with.
From what conversion from the free tool to
From
trial?
DM to opt-in.
DM to opt-in. Yeah, got it.
Behind the gate.
Oh, I should
like-
be able to see that.
So I've done, I don't know, like 4,500 DMs or comments, like true. And I've got 1,200 opt-ins and emails from that.
Nice. So our opt-in to the free thing. So first someone has to click the trigger, get a copy. That conversion is 68% from DM to asking for the free thing. And then there's a conversion of 94% that actually open the link. So I guess 68 minus 6. So whatever, 62%.
So people are commenting and then ManyChat sends them a button to click.
Yeah, because otherwise you can't send them two messages. Or it goes in the, like not the main inbox. So the first one, I can show you. ManyChat does it in a weird way.
I was going to say, because this is not how it works with GHL.
Okay, so there are two automations. The first one is, this was the main one. And this is what they call a quick automation, which is they comment something, we give you something, but there's no reply. Super annoying. So this was in the free version. I'm like, okay, great. I'll set that up. That's fine. So yeah, we sent 96% click rate, essentially. So for this,
So that opening DM, you couldn't just put the link in that opening DM?
we could, but then we couldn't send a response after.
Oh.
Because for a lot of users, they're like, we don't accept messages from people we don't know, right? So you can send them the first message, and then they go, hey, here's the ebook. Click get a copy. Now we're connected. I sent you a message. You sent me a message. Now we're free to chat, right? But otherwise, I can't just bombard you with messages because most users have that restriction, especially if it's a private account. So then they click get a copy, and then I go, great, here you are. Here's the thing. But then with this quick automation tool, there is no follow-up. I'm like, whatever, that's fine. I don't need the paid version. I'm just going to try it free. I just need it for this quick thing. I posted this carousel. I had a quick idea. I took some information from a webinar that I did. I'm like, oh, I'll just throw this in a carousel, post it. And that's the one that went viral.
Spend 5 minutes and you did the most viral one.
I know, it's crazy. So then I switched it, and here's the updated version. This is as it's on the decline, and now I think it's pretty well capped out. But now this is like, hey, here's our free ebook. Click get a copy. They click, here you are. So now I have this tag for the people that got the ebook. And then I have this delay 2 hours. And then I go, hope you like the ebook. By the way, you can do all this in Bambi. And then I have a click rate to download the app, which is obviously significantly lower. It's actually kind of disappointing. It's the first time I'm seeing it.
Oh, you delayed it
clicks.
by 2 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. I would change that to be 60 seconds.
I wanted to give people the value first, don't you think?
Speed
No.
to lead. Hot. If they're hot, they're hot.
Okay. I'll change that now.
So to me, this looks like this is a ManyChat thing to get you to upgrade rather than a limitation on Instagram.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Well, it'll be
Anyway,
interesting. Like, I hope these continue and you get thousands of messages, and then you're gonna look at your ManyChat bill and be like, "What the fuck?"
and then I'm gonna go to to GHL.
Probably, yeah, because it'll be cheaper. Just
Yeah.
literally just for this one use case.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, I mean, I love that
Anyway,
story.
but that thing, yeah, that's been working really well. And I think last week we just crossed $1,000, right? In revenue,
Uh,
if I'm not
no, I think it
mistaken.
was two.
No, it was 1,000.
The number that you showed was 2,000, or maybe that was in the Google Studio thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
tracked or
So last time it was
forecasted.
like 1.9K or something like that, and $2,000 in revenue.
Yeah.
So now, the past 7 days, woo, made $964. Oh yeah.
So that's
This is cash collected,
cash collected. Okay.
not people that are in trial. So okay, sorry. So a couple things. Yeah, last 7 days we did basically as much revenue and cash collected as we have year to date. This is a mobile app, guys. Chill out. There's not a lot of revenue yet. We got to get
Oh, I
thousands
see
and
it
thousands.
brewing. I see it brewing.
Yeah, but it's going. So like, 970 or 1973 year to date, last 7 days, like 970. So it's, we're starting to get there, starting to jump a little bit. And then what's cool is we finally have Revenue Cat installed. So now we can see like money in the chamber. So these are the active trials. And then active subscriptions is only showing since we released this version. So it's not counting everybody so far year to date that has purchased an annual trial up until like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, whatever it was. So anyway, this has been super cool because now I can see money in the chamber, which relates to what we're seeing in Firebase. And now I can see, okay, projected revenue is at 2.9K because
Okay, that's
there's
what
7 days. Yeah, there's 7 days of trials of cash collected that has not been collected yet because these are all like trials pending conversion.
Got it.
Not every trial is going to convert, obviously, but our conversion from trial to close is pretty good. I don't know where that is. I'll find it later.
Is Revenue Cat calculating MRR including yearly subscriptions?
Yeah, this would be total rev. Yeah.
Okay.
But the MRR is that we have here is just people that are on a monthly subscription.
Oh, okay. So it's not including yearly for that number.
No, total revenue will include annual, but MRR is just including.
Ah, okay. That's useful.
Yeah, it is. It's not bad. So we can see the MRR just starting to climb up. So basically since we installed Revenue Cat.
Yeah.
So every day as new subscriptions renew, it updates, but it's not going to capture the annual subscriptions until they actually renew at the 12-month mark. Because this captures the event of renewal, not the total stats of the app. You know what I mean? So I just didn't set up Revenue Cast soon enough. But it is pretty cool to see. I really like the active trials. That's the whole reason why I added Revenue Cat. It's amazing to me that other apps don't have this stat, or even that Apple doesn't have this alone. But yeah, that's been cool. And then the other one that's cool is we have this like average revenue per download, because not all of our downloads convert because it's a hard paywall, right? You can't use the app until you pay or start a trial, basically. But this is a cool number for paid ads, because now I know if our cost per download is at $4.80, we're breaking even. So now I know that we can run ads and our CPA needs to be around that $5 mark. It's pretty neat. And then the other thing we're seeing, which I'm very excited about, is, just retention over time. The retention to day 2 or to day 1, this is the conversion from download to starting a trial, because you can't get into the app until you start a trial. So technically day 1 is 100%, you downloaded it. No one is converting to the second day until they start that trial. So basically our conversion metrics start from 27% of user retention. You know what I mean? And the retention now, I mentioned this last time, I'm like, as more people adopt version 2.4, the retention is going to level out to the point where when you get to day 40, you're still going to have retained users. It's not just annual subscriptions. You're going to have people, daily active users that are still coming in, which perfectly ties in to our active users. So this is monthly, weekly, and daily active users. So the monthly and daily are starting to increase in tandem with version 2.4 getting adopted. So the more people, as people started to upgrade, that retention started to spike up. So it's just a good sign to me that the work we put in to develop the new features are actually what people were looking for. It actually was the missing piece, which is the next new feature that we're working on now. It's like the next big missing piece, which is sleep tracking math. But anyway, we'll get into that later. Yeah, so all is good in the hood. Exciting to see.
The active trials or that number, that's one of the ones that we use as kind of like the lifeblood of not only our marketing, but that's a really good stat to keep in mind and try to increase. Like when we made that change from free trial to credit card free trial, that tripled our active trials like in a week.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. See, I've been thinking about going the other way, doing a free version and then a paid and premium.
I don't know.
I think we need a lot more money to test that. And we probably need to create a duplicate version of the app and then sample it in a certain area. I'm not sure how you do that yet, but there's got to be a way to try it before you just convert users to free, because that is very daunting.
Yeah. I don't know. My vote would probably be not to do that, just considering the lift that we saw, and then this whole kind of concept regarding like the McDonald's customers versus Nobu customers, and how if it's free, like it actually discourages the Nobu customers. So I don't know. That's an interesting thing to think about, but I don't know. The more and more I go into the depths of this, it's push paid as quickly and as much as possible.
Yeah. I think doing the one suggestion my brother made was you have the same trial period for the monthly and yearly. So I guess lower value versus higher value, because otherwise it feels like a ripoff to people for choosing the monthly option. He said also you should just get more people in on monthly and then through push notifications get them to go annual. Or if people stay monthly, it's fine by me. It's $120 a year versus $45 a year. There's a big difference.
Wait, so is the trial period is different for monthly and yearly?
It used to be. We used to do 3-day trial on weekly subscription and then 7-day trial on annual. And there was no monthly. So now we switched it to 7-day trial on monthly or 7-day trial on annual. The only difference is the price, not on the trial period.
Okay.
It's also, I think it's just a smaller amount of mental math that the user has to do. They're like, do I want to try it for $10 for the month, or do I know I'm going to like it and I'll just commit for the year?
Yeah. I think that's a smart change.
So we'll see how it goes. But it's a slow burn, man. It's so tough.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it's exciting to see the, up and to the right. That's what we want to see.
100%. Yeah, it's exciting to see. And it's such a more enjoyable business to run because I can just focus on building the business. I don't have to focus on fulfilling customers. Like in the agency, when you get to a certain size where like your team is tapped and the revenue is already really good, every new customer you get is just a strain on resources. And it's a concern of, do I hire somebody new? Are we going to have enough time to fulfill this? It's just the constant hamster wheel. Versus for this, obviously you're still going to have churn, but 100% of your focus is on building the business. It's not on fulfilling customers. I could have 10 users or 10,000 users, and it's the same amount of work for me.
Well, yeah, and like you said, it's just more fulfilling. Like you're building for yourself, not for somebody else.
Yeah.
I think that's the core genesis of. I mean, I see that. I'm sure you see this all the time too, and talking to other people that are like, "Oh, I hate my life. I hate my job. I don't know what to do with my life." And it's just like, that's the core concept. It's like you're spending your entire day working for somebody else, which is like when you say it like that, it's dumb to hear it like that, but you're not building for yourself, which is just inherently more fulfilling.
Yeah, it's the thing about building for yourself is you can see your own future because you're making it, but there aren't people standing in the way if you were working for someone else. Like if you're in a corporate job, you can see your future is getting promotions and I guess climbing the ladder, but there's always stakeholders that you have to ask permission for to grow. You can't just grow by yourself because you decided to in the job. Versus if you're an entrepreneur, if you're building your own business, you can grow it as much as you want. It's really just limited by your own knowledge, essentially, and resources. But like no one is standing in your way. You have the ability to do it on your own.
You are the only one standing in your way
Pretty much.
in that
Yeah.
scenario with things
Your
like,
lack of knowledge is the only thing standing in your way.
or just I'd say discipline and tenacity. And I think like that stat that it always gets rolled around, 80-90% of businesses like fail in their first year.
Mm-hmm.
I think so much of that is because if you get punched in the face every single day for a year, you're like, why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
But we know how that works in the sense of like trying to get through that and be able to take those punches and get back up the next day and keep working. I think it's more like, yes, the knowledge piece does matter, but I've seen so many dumb businesses that are so successful just because the head of the business is just unwaveringly
Persistent.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like that meme of the guy who's digging for gold and then turns around last second and he doesn't get through the last shovel full before he gets to the gold. But I think I've been putting a lot of thought into this because I was running an agency. The business that you decide to go in does matter a lot and how quickly you can get early wins. Like if you have never done it before, if you have no business experience, somebody talks about this really well is Jordan Peterson. Chapter 1 of his first book is, or his most popular book is The Theory of the Lobster, or like lobster theory or whatever, which basically means if you win, you're more likely to win. And if you lose, you're more likely to lose. And I think it's really true. Like getting your first win in business is really important. And if you try to do software immediately, if you try to build a software and you have no business skills, it's going to be really hard and you probably won't get that first win and you might get a really bad taste for what business is. You'll think it's too hard or it's not for you or you can't do it or it's a scam. But going into service-based and getting the first win, getting the first couple $1,000 in, it's going to be a lot more fulfilling.
Do you remember what your first win was, like as young as you can remember? Even it's not like even, adult business?
Probably learning, probably just education. Like I couldn't read till grade 5 and I was just the classic kid in public school that just kept getting passed on to the next teacher and nobody really knew till finally my grade 5 teacher was like, brought my parents in and was like, this kid can't read. Like you guys got to do something about this. So since then, I mean, that was the point where work ethic was so important. And my parents drilled that into my head. Like, it doesn't matter how smart you are. It only matters how hard you work. And it's completely true. Like in a lot of cases, I can be the dumbest guy in the room or the dumbest guy building an app. But if it really all just comes down to work ethic.
Yeah. And that persistence to just keep going, keep trying.
I mean, same with you. You were building apps when you were like 13, weren't you?
Yeah, but I mean, even before that, I like, selling candy to kids during recess and like.
Oh yeah. I did tons of that. You're gonna find this one funny. We did shoveling snow. That was a big one in the winter.
Oh God, I can't even.
That was a big hustle. Just literally knock door to door, shovel your driveway for $20. Okay, great, thanks.
I mean that's the type. I mean, I think the comparable for me. I mean, I tried doing like lawn mowing for a half a second. I hated that. The classic lemonade stands and things. Now, like anytime I see that, I always try to like pull over and give them like $20 because I know that's gonna like make their entire day.
Keep them motivated for sure.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of little ones like that when I was a kid. My siblings and I, we made these bracelets, like these beaded bracelets, and we sold them at the end of our driveway after church. We lived across from the church. So every time people would come out of the church, we'd like try to hustle these little bracelets. And then a local store thought that it was so cute. They brought our products in on consignment. And it was like, anyway, we did all these like tiny little hustles as kids.
That's great.
Yeah.
Selling the church crowd, classic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, persistence is everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any content recommendations for this week?
Let's see. Actually, yeah. So there's this show on, I think it's Disney Plus, called Light and Magic, and it is a TV show about ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, which is the company behind like all of the special effects in Hollywood.
Oh, interesting.
It was started by George Lucas, and it basically like details the history of that company. And the things that I've learned from that show, it's super interesting, especially as like as a Star Wars nerd, like clearly, super interesting to see. But one, like how influential George Lucas was to the entire industry and shifting the entire movie industry forward in terms of going digital, using computer generated graphics, new methods of filming and all these things. And it gets to, I think, like episode 5 or so, where this thing called, computer generated graphics started to come around. And ILM was one of the first companies to really embrace this new technology. And they do interviews with people that used to work at the model shops that were like building clay and, like clay models of different animals and things, and doing stop motion photography to generate scenes. And how when computer graphics came into play, these people at the model shop, some of them were like, they say this in the show, they're like, oh, that's the dark side. Like it's the dark side because it's, a computer is doing the work, and like it's not us building the models, right? And I'm like, that sounds very familiar.
Very familiar. Yeah.
And what's interesting is some of those people in the model shop then saw that this was the future. They then went over to the computer graphics part, section of the company, and they were like, teach me everything. I want to learn everything. And then they became so successful in the computer graphics area because they had so much experience as artists in the model shop.
For sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm like, okay, well, this is exactly what's happening with AI right now in terms of, I could write code manually or do this thing manually on the computer, but instead I'm going to direct another computer to do that process for me. So instead of having to wait 7 days for something to render, I can do it instantly and faster.
Yeah.
And I think the same concept of there's a human steering the ship still is like kind of the main point that I realized. Like, yes, the technology is new and it's developing faster than anybody can kind of hold on to, but the computer itself is not prompting itself to generate that thing or to do that thing. There's still someone that is prompting that into existence that the computer is then generating or creating.
Yeah. There's still someone behind the wheel. There's still a human behind the wheel, but you're absolutely right. Has there ever been a moment in history where a group of people really, really resisted technological change and then it didn't happen?
I can't think of one.
What I mean is, of course it's going in this direction. You can't say like, oh, AI generated content's not as good. Like, yeah, you can nitpick all you want, but this is what people are doing. This is what's going to happen. It's whether you like it or not, this is where it's going.
Exactly. It's inevitable. And like thinking of these model shop people, there were the other like dissenters essentially, which never made that switch over.
Yeah.
And then they became essentially obsolete. And it's not the technology that made them obsolete. It's the people using the technology that made them obsolete, which is the same thing with AI. AI is not going to replace you. It's people using AI who are going to replace you.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
So
That's a good one.
Very interesting, and I can only imagine what ILM is doing right now with AI. Like they have to be on the forefront of using it to generate stuff. And there's another show that on Apple Plus called The Studio with Seth Rogen, which is really funny. The last episode, Ice Cube, they like hire Ice Cube to do this Kool-Aid movie, and they're like, oh, we have to use AI to like generate some of the stuff. And Ice Cube comes out and is like, fuck AI, fuck AI. And like the entire crowd that he's talking to at like a simulated Comic-Con is like, fuck AI, like this. And I'm just like, oh, like if you guys had any idea or any clue. And I'm like, it's not me saying this. Like, look at the largest industrial light and magic graphics company that produces all of the computer graphics for all the entire industry. Let them tell you how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Because they know way better than I do.
Yeah, you can't resist it into non-existence. It's going to happen.
Yeah, you're going to get steamrolled. So
honestly,
might as well take advantage of it.
Probably that's going to be the best content recommendation. I'm not even going to give one because it's just so out of left field. That might be a good place to end it, though. Sorry, I got a couple kids I got to tend to.
All good. Yeah. Good episode. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, everybody.